The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On January 9th and 10th, the StarCityGames.com Open Series returns to Dallas-Fort Worth, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, $10,000 in cash prizes, at least 8 players qualifying for the 2010 StarCityGames.com Invitational, live coverage on the StarCityGames.com website all day, tons of side events, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join StarCityGames.com in Dallas-Fort Worth, and we'll see you there.
Hi, this is Joel Calfell, and welcome to the Magic Show.
Everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Magic Show. Due to hardware difficulties, aka Evan gets to pay an insane data recovery bill for his video hardware because he didn't back up a hard drive, I didn't get to do the Best of 2009 show last week, as well as spending time with the newest member of the Erwin family, Madeline Renee. She's really awesome. And speaking of awesome, this week brings us to the cusp of official Worldwake spoilers on MagicTheGathering.com, along with a few confirmed cards to gush about along the way. Let's go! So this week we got 2 new cards, what will end up being your pre-release and release foil promos. Let's take a look at the pre-release promo, Comet Storm. Now, this is a spicy little number right here. A mythic fireball. Yes, that rarity is mythic and this thing is not fooling around. The first thing it does is confirm multi-kicker as a major mechanic in Worldwake, an awesome new twist on the kicker mechanic we've known and loved for years. However, the key to this card's sweetness is one word: instant. The ability to instantly fireball someone is not without precedent. In fact, we've seen an instant blaze variant in the form of Volcanic Geyser, an uncommon from all the way back in Mirage. And we currently have the spell strictly better than blaze and pretty much better than fireball in Banefire. But Volcanic Geyser sucks, and has always sucked. Even Rolling Thunder, another 2 red and X variant that was printed shortly after Volcanic Geyser, didn't see any constructed play, and that was in a format without Cascade. Of course, it was also a sorcery, and printed during a time in which Necropotence was legal and tap blockers dealt no combat damage, so take it how you want. Anyway, nowadays the Cascade goodness is too good to ignore, which means this spell could also be ignored for some time. Those who think this will be used in Jund decks are simply wrong, as I'll take my Bloodbraid Elf and Bituminous Blast over it every day of the week. I mean, we've got Lavalanche in Jund colors, right? And while it's awesome in the cube, it's not so hot when flipped over by Bloodbraid Elf. So where does it fit? Quite simply, everywhere else, particularly ramp-style decks with Garruk Wildspeaker, Rampant Growth, and so on. First of all, let's look at how it works when compared to Fireball. Here I will borrow from Patrick Chapin's excellent article this week discussing this card and the chart he used to demonstrate its mana savings when compared to Fireball. This chart shows you how much mana you have to pay by a matrix of damage and number of targets. Note that the multi-kicker only allows you to choose another target, so you can't just add an additional mana and Fireball the same target twice. You also cannot target a player and a planeswalker, regardless of multi-kicker, because you cannot directly target planeswalkers. You must target the player, and then choose to redirect the damage to the planeswalker. So beware those who will try and do this to you, because it is 100% illegal. Anyway, I think this card is great because of the choices it provides. Earthquake is quite the competition for this spell, but with those Baneslayers and Broodmate Dragons roaming the skies, the ability to dispatch them at the end of your opponent's turn seems pretty good to me. Lavalanche is competition, and is arguably better, but much more difficult to cast, and it sure isn't at instant speed. I'm still on the fence about this spell. For me, it's the ultimate nightmare of Wizards of the Coast customer service, albeit 1 mana cheaper and at instant speed. And while that unglued card is fun to compare, and it gives you a free headache thinking about your XYZ variables, it doesn't ooze power to me, even cheaper or at instant speed. My guess is that one day in the near future, also known as this fall, when the Lights block comes out and Cascade is taken back behind the standard shed and put out of its misery, we'll get to see what this spell is really capable of. Until then, we can argue just how likely we are to see this at tournament tables anytime soon. I mean, what are the odds? Woo! Woo! Now that's what I hope it feels like to play this bad boy. We shall see. Up next is the release promo, and holy cow is it delicious. Say hello to Jiraga Warcaller. Holy crap! This guy is awesome! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought Eldrazi Green was a minor player in the metagame, here comes a Warcaller all up in your business. Yes, thanks to the power of Turn 1 Noble Hierarch or Llanowar Elves, Turn 2 Elvish Archdruid, you can pump 5 mana into this guy immediately. This will then make your Llanowar Elves, Elvish Archdruid, and Jiraga Warcaller all 4/4s on turn 3. Also remember that Killer Green Land Orin Reef the Vastwood is still in Zendikar and warms right up next to a little Warcaller goodness. How about grabbing a few copies of this guy out of your deck and into your hand via Ranger of Eos? Seems good. Use your Knight of the Reliquary to find your copies of Orin Reef the Vastwood? Sounds even better. Utility in the late game and still easily fits into your mana curve no matter where it will be? Fantastic. But it gets better. Ever notice what insane cascade spell is also an elf? That's right, Bloodbraid Elf will happily flip up Jiraga Warcaller, and if you got spare mana lying around, remember that you can also pay as much mana as you want for the multi-kicker ability when you play it off Cascade. Kick ass. Man, this card is a Timmy's delight. Why? Have you seen the insanity they gave casual elf decks in Lorwyn Block? Because, damn, this guy has absolutely busted with Immaculate Magistrate, and I mean insanely so. For those who could care less about tournament tables, this guy will bring you some serious fun to your casual decks, and I see it holding its value for quite some time. Also, could this card actually make Quest for the Gemblades playable in, any format? I always thought that card looked good, but in the fine print you'll notice it says put 5+1/+1 counters on target creature that's about to be killed by a removal spell. So sad. Either way, Jiraga is the business and I love him to pieces. A perfectly costed and powerful addition to the elf tribe. This guy will be popular in standard and should make quite the splash at FNM and casual decks around the world. Be sure to get yourself to the release weekend festivities and grab yourself a copy. You won't be disappointed. Moving on, 2 weeks ago I wrote an article about Jace the Mind Sculptor, and if you didn't see it, here's the skinny. The guy is nuts good, and is currently pre-selling at Star City Games for $22.49, putting him right up there with Elspeth Knight Errant. Now for what it's worth, I think this is a very fair price that will only increase the moment this guy sees play in a Tier 1 deck. The instant you see this card in a tournament-winning deck, it won't be just $22 anymore, just like you can't find Elspeth for less than $30 now. Many players are talking about playing him in formats beyond standard, and when you see legacy players drooling over free brainstorms, you might want to think long and hard about investing before the hype becomes reality. We also have the mystery of Bazaar Trader. Revealed a week and a half before Christmas in Mark Rosewater's Goblin article, this rare is a 2-mana 1/1, as you can see, along with being just a goblin who may or may not have a creature subtype. I think the key to this art is the 3 fingers, indicating that this trader will likely give you 3 choices of some sort, and knowing those wacky goblins, they can be quite random. Here is my official guess for Bazaar Trader. This sort of uber gamble is just wacky enough to be a goblin, random enough that it won't always provide you an advantage barring unearthed creatures. And who doesn't love searching their library for stuff, even if there's a chance you have to pitch it? Other guesses have included a tap ability to goblin lore, searching your library for 3 goblins and putting them on top, and other fun stuff. All I know is this guy has been known for quite a while, and still not a word regarding what he actually does. Lame. Come on, Wizards, tell us what he does. Hell, something. Moving on, Wizards of the Coast this week officially announced Magic 2011, which we all knew was coming, but now know will drop on June 16th, include 249 cards, one of which may or may not be Baneslayer Angel. My bet? She's in there for another year. You don't get to be a $50+ card by sucking, and suck she does not. I'm betting she'll rule the skies once again, shaming Sarah Angel, who now sits in an uncommon slot and excites no one, while Baneslayer is the best Willy Wonka golden ticket printed in many years. My request? Path to Exile, please. I love this spell for its resource trading idea, and while it's awesome that White now has answers that can be answered a la Oblivion Ring or Journey to Nowhere, there's just something delicious about a 1 white mana cure-all for what ails you. My fingers are crossed. So until next week, Magic players, when I'll be featuring the first of my 2 exclusive Worldwake spoilers, this is Evan Erwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
Still it's a shock to your soft side. Summer moon, catch your shut eye.
always like the fatties.
I operate on kind of a different level than everyone else. I'm not saying it's a better level. I mean, I think it is, but basically, through Magic, I've met everyone that I'm friends with. Every single person, like all my best friends, Gindi included. And those people, I treat like kings, because they are. They are the people that matter the most to me. And conversely, the people who I don't like, I treat like crap, because they deserve it. So I mean, if you want to criticize me for treating you like an idiot, it's probably because at some point you were an idiot and therefore deserve it.